Welcome, everybody, to another eclectic edition of PWT Podcast. Yeah. Joining me today is Alt Jake. Can I get a yeet?
Yeet. Happy to be here, man. It's fun to be on a real pod as opposed to the live show. This is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Some for the RSS feed, some for the Apple folk. Cracking that top 100 PWT fam. Yeah. And I am, of course, your host, the infallible, the fanatical, and the quite frank Phil Mark. But don't call me Frank. Yeah. And we have to give a little acknowledgement to some folks, as we do on the PWT podcast. What we do here is we acknowledge our tribal chiefs: Cyman V, Sora, Choke Dealer B, Tranquility V11, Juan Salazar, James Gonzalez, Brad Becker, Corey B, Chris E, Moose Knuckle, Mike Sausalis, Crunchy, Cheeto Creative, El Huapo, Diablo, J Chase, Jared Brady, Tyranitar, J&D, Lincoln Hawk, Donnie Saurus, Tom Reed, You Ain't Hype, LK, George Captor, Scully Vibes, Gilgamesh, Jamie Earhart, Bocce Ball Pro, Alaj Mahmood, Derek H, Travis Cooper, Freeze Sky, Eric Galprin, Cruz Madrid, Denisha Lane, Paul Simmons, Cruz Madrid again. He's on there twice. Chris Killis, Mark Hugh the Mark, Ashley B, Russ Paxton, and of course, Alt Jake. I acknowledge all of you. Acknowledge me. And round of applause for all of you, our tribal chief. And those are members. Yeah, those are members and patrons over on the Patreon, where your boy Phil has been uploading, stuff early, or exclusive stuff, or things that got to get clipped out of the live show. WWE hit me hard on the last one, or the one before, so I clip all that out, upload it to Patreon. You guys check that out over there, patreon.com/prowrestletimes. If you're watching, you can see it on the ticker below. If you're listening, check it out, and check out youtube.com/@prowrestletimes or youtube.com/@prowrestleclips, where we're almost at 1,500 subs on one channel and a whopping 5,000 on the other channel. Thank you all so much. Alt Jake, you can follow him at alt_Jake2 on X, and he has a GoFundMe. You can see it if you're listening to this audio. You can go to his Twitter page, and it's at alt_Jake2. And he's got a GoFundMe link there. That's for his kitty to pay off some of those treatments. Yeah, so enough plugs. We also have Evil Dose joining us in a bit on this wonderful show. Yeah. We're going to review some graps, and Dose is going to come in and talk more succinctly about the AEW TV deal. And because on the live show, Alt Jake, Chris Connor, and Awful were on the live show Wednesday. This is Thursday, but you'll hear it Friday morning, Time Cop. And we basically just went off, completely lost our minds. Awful. I was like, so Awful, you were wrong. And then so he explained his position. We got the exclusive scoop, which I appreciate him for doing that. And then Chris Connor, I was like, Chris Connor, you were also wrong. I was right. And then I blew myself, right? So that was just all fun and games. This is going to be more like Dose will actually explain it, and I'll ask real questions, and we'll just basically acknowledge AEW. Yeah, because it is good they got this TV deal. But if you've been listening to the live shows, listening to the podcasts, then what you know is your boy Phil pretty much nailed it, just speculating and listening to people smarter than me. And it's not like this big deal. I just feel like I look at things objectively. You take what you think is likely true. You take what you think is likely false. And, Husey was a big part of that. He shifted a lot of what I thought, he's like, they could be funding it. Like the Khan family could be funding it themselves and stuff. Dose will break that down more. Okay. Later on, tail end of the show. So, to kick things off, though, we are going to review WWE Raw, WWE NXT. If you want my Dynamite 5 Anniversary 5 reactions, I'll give you a quick summation here. But we watched that last night on the live show, but actually 2 days ago, Time Cop. So make sure you check out the last PWT live show. where Alt Jake was with me there too. We're going to preview Bad Blood, folks, and there will be a PWT live show coinciding at the same time, a watch party for Bad Blood. Make sure you check me out Saturday. And yeah, so Alt Jake, you, brother, were with me watching the 5th anniversary of Dynamite. I want to talk about it more later in the show with Dose, actually, so let's save our thoughts on that. But to start off, I know that you also watched Raw and you watched NXT. You and I both love NXT. I think it's my favorite wrestling show. So we're going to review Raw, obviously, chronological order. How are you feeling about WWE right now going into Bad Blood, and how did you enjoy this past Monday night's Raw?
Oh, well, first off, WWE is completely on fire. I think Bad Blood, for being not one of the quote unquote bigger pay-per-views, is set up to be awesome. I mean, like, there's not a bad match on the card. There's some good matches that they're doing. I mean, they're having Sammy and Gunther after it, for crying out loud, because there's so much they've got available for it. So that's going to be an awesome show. And then I was so glad that you said on the live show that NXT is your favorite show, because I really feel like it's mine too. It's the most fun I have. Like, yeah, there's better stories and deeper, bigger stars on Raw and SmackDown specifically with Cody and Roman, but NXT is just fun. So I'm excited to talk about Raw and talk about NXT too. It'll be a good time.
Awesome. And so, yeah, dude, we head over to Bleacher Report, and shout out Alfred Konua, but
he's the best.
Yeah, he is the best. He's coming on the show tomorrow, but actually today when you hear this time gap. Sorry, guys, I'm going to lose it today. but so Eric Beeston, y'all know we go to Bleacher Report. They're owned by WBD, so we look to them for fair and unbiased WWE reviews, which are typically not the case on the NXT ones, but when Eric Beeston, I feel like he's a fair reviewer. But announced in advance, the last monster standing, Braun and Bronson, the LWO match versus Judgment Day, Mysterio versus Woods, Kingston versus Gable, Valkyria versus Stark, and promos. We got more shit announced than is announced for Bad Blood on this Raw before the Raw even goes. So Jey Uso kicks off Raw. He's over like Rover. He unveiled the new WWE Intercontinental Championship that has like the blue little bit of color in it. I'll pull the picture up for those watching. How do you feel about the new Jay Bluso, as I've been calling him for the last year and a half, ever since he broke off from the Bloodline? What do you think about his promo here? Braun Breaker came out, shook hands with him, seemingly turned babyface, which is interesting. And then they unveiled the new blue Intercontinental Championship.
So it's funny because since I live in, I'm in Pacific time. I usually start Raw a little bit late and kind of catch up in the commercials. And so I tweeted, but it was like 30 minutes into the show. But I said, I'm a little bit late, but damn that Jey Uso entrance! Like, it's like with his kid, and that's how hyped the crowd is, and you can see like the kids in the crowd and like adults in the crowd. It's just really cool to see him that over, someone who's put in that much work. I mean, 14 years just in the WWE, never mind what he put in before and growing up as part of it. Like, it's just so cool to see. And I've never been like the biggest fan of his, but I've never disliked him. But honestly, this whole little run that he's been on, just to see how much the fans have responded to him and how much he's getting out of it, it's just really cool to see. I did not realize they added the word heavyweight to the championship till you put the picture up there. I noticed the blue in the globes, but that's really cool because I liked what Gunther was kind of calling back to the old Macho Man used to call it the Intercontinental Heavyweight title.
Yeah,
I always like heavyweight. Yeah, I like that little heavyweight in there because it adds more to it. Because I mean, if it's the workhorse belt and it is like, I mean, now it's not the number 2 because there's 2 world titles. But if you just look at Raw, on its own, it's the number 2 title on the show, and that's cool. I thought it was cool. And then with Braun, I mean, you had to turn him face. I mean, the dogs were barking everywhere. You know, they tried to make him heel. I mean, they had him basically kill Ricochet, and people were still like, but he's fun.
Yeah,
he's got
especially because Ricochet showed up in AEW.
Yeah. And then most of us saw how he showed up in AEW and then immediately went nuts like everybody else over there does and started lashing out at people. But I mean, Breaker's got what I like to think of as like, it's like physical charisma. He's great on the mic too, and will only get better. But just when you watch him, just the way he performs, you can't. I thought of when he was still in NXT. He's just got it. And I think that extra year in NXT went a long way. I think everyone kept saying, oh, then why are they taking so long to bring him up? Well, because A, they didn't need to. They were doing fine. They're setting records everywhere. And B, that run with Corbin really kind of solidified that he can do more than just, be essentially a Goldberg where he'd have short matches and kill people and squash them. Like he had longer matches, competitive matches, and really got to flesh out his character. And I think we're seeing the payoff for it now.
Yeah. I think the face turn is also like why they took the belt off him. And I think also if you look at the title, now, for those of you listening, I'll describe it if you haven't seen it. They simply added blue to the globes in the IC belt. And I think somebody made like a mock-up that essentially looked the exact same as this online. I don't know if it was AI or they did it in Photoshop themselves, but the fact that they didn't just automatically do this when they invented this belt is hilarious to me. And this looks way better just with a little bit of blue. And it's also a bit of a callback. And also in the history of titles, it's not my favorite looking title just in general, but it's in the modern era. This is one of the nicer looking belts.
Yeah,
I must say. But so moving along though from that, and joining us now on the show is the evil one himself.
Nice.
Evil Dose. What's happening, man? How you doing here? I need to give you a round of applause. Don't let me not be a gentleman here.
What's going on, everyone?
We are just reviewing some Raw, and we are talking about the new Intercontinental Championship and the aesthetic of it, and just basically how this promo was really good on Raw, and they turned Braun Breaker babyface, which was interesting, but it's obviously why they took the belt off him,
If you say so.
Yeah, okay. We had Rey Mysterio take on Xavier Woods in a match here, and Xavier unmasked Rey. I wish I could play it. WWE's been going so hard on me, but basically to describe it, Woods ripped Rey's mask off and then like rolled him up for a win. Very heelish, but he like didn't mean to do it, but it's just slowly showing his dissension into eventual heel madness. And I don't know, this guy rated it a C+, but like I don't get what is he grading it on, like the match of the moves they did or how it progresses the story? Like in the grand scheme of things, this was a great moment for Xavier to have on his way to becoming heel. What do you
think? Is he grading it on work rate? Like, oi.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought it was great. So
yeah, I enjoyed it. And then, progressed the story along. And I thought it was funny to see Woods, or not funny, but interesting to see how Woods played it, because he was acting like he was being like, oh, I'm so sorry I did that. But clearly is what he wanted to do. Also, Dose, nice to meet you. We've interacted online a couple of times, but nice to actually meet you and have a discussion with you, my friend.
Yeah, who am I? See, my eyes are old, so I don't know who I'm talking
Alt
to.
Jake. Alt Jake. I'm on X. We've interacted a few times before. Crack some jokes. And the one with the sick cat, and I've got he ran the one of the shows we did the super chats were donated to my cat.
X. Oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody. Yep. My cat's a bit bigger star than I am. It's fine. She's awesome.
Well, you didn't invent that gimmick. Kevin Castle did it during COVID. He had fundraisers, not fundraisers, but he asked for donations for his cat, and he rewarded people with shout outs and signed like vintage wrestling magazines.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I just had him on and made a bunch of fucking stupid jokes. You know what
I mean? Hey, it's turned into me being able to come back and have fun. So I'm
it's so
worked
funny.
out for us all. Having a good time and having laughs.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, so backstage, DeVille and Baszler, they attempted to intimidate Lyra Valkyria. So the Pure Fusion Collective, complete ass. I don't care about Lyra either. Zoe, they have a match. I mean, I couldn't really care less. Katana, Chance, and Kaden Carter came back, and I like them. But man, they just don't know how to like. They just like do a move and then they like yell at the crowd. Oh, and it's like, okay, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like the crowd will get hype if they're into it. And I like that team, but now they're back in it, and she's wearing like what's her name? Sorry. Katana's wearing like a undashing Cody Rhodes mask, like a Richard Hamilton mask or whatever. So I don't know. It is what it is.
She got it from JC Jane. He just passed it up.
Oh, right. So JC Jane just wore that. That's a way better example because that's more like literally she just did that in NXT. So
the face mask got drafted to Raw.
Yeah. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not gonna dwell on it. It was what it was. Backstage we get Kofi. He talks to Woods. Uso offered him a shot at the IC title, so we get Woods versus Uso for the title next week. I think Woods is gonna perceive Kofi's screws him. You know what I mean? Something's gonna happen where Kofi costs quote unquote Xavier the match in his perception, and then Uso retains, and then Xavier gets mad at him or something, something like that.
It'll either be that or like maybe Uso wins completely clean and Woods is just really, really pissed about it or something. But yeah, it'll be storyline for sure. But I think you're probably right.
He can't win clean. Something's got to happen to make Xavier mad. I mean, what I would love to see is Xavier wins, not because I'm really into it, but if you're going to do the story, him having a singles title is pretty cool. But something bloodline related, because I don't quite believe it myself, but I've seen reports that the plan for Survivor Series 2024 is still bloodline versus bloodline. And if that's the case, they better start getting there right quick.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think that's why, like, we hear all the rumors about Hikuleo, but they're like, oh, he's going to be an NXT. I don't think so. I think he's just going to show up main roster. He's going to be Roman's backup. I've said it a billion times, but I'm going to say it again because it's my show. He is the big little brother of the Tongans, and Solo is the big little brother of the Usos. So it makes sense that Solo's running amok and that Roman has to bring the Usos together. And then, Tongans, guess what? We got a big little brother too. And boom, Hikuleo.
Could be.
That's Tama and Tonga's little big brother. They already got Jacob, so why would they bring Hikuleo in as well? I don't know. I just think that's the move. And it'll be great, as Tony Khan would say.
I mean, it
does make a lot of sense.
But I still think that they want to put Sami Zayn in there.
I want Sami to be done with the bloodline.
Well, what's he going to do then? Because I mean, he without something
lose to Gunther again.
He's about to do that. So I don't know. I think that we're probably going to see Hikuleo at Bad Blood. So. I think he's on the bad guy side. Now, for a while, I was sort of fantasizing that Dustin would come in to rescue Cody, but I think reported that he just re-signed with AEW for like.
No. The rumors are the rumors are he might re-sign with AEW. Okay, so we don't know, man.
All right, so then Hikuleo and Dustin, you still got your 5-on-5.
My heartstrings.
Let's fucking do it, man.
I would love it. Oh, it would be so great.
He's been posting a lot that he loves AEW, and I think that's I think that's a preemptive just to make the fans not turn on him. But what he'll learn is that nothing works.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right. So, seriously, they will turn in on instant.
Yeah.
What does work, however, Dose and all Jake, is one last promo from CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and these guys have been working their ass off, being kept separate. This one they had the cage. We got the old school cage back, which I love for the cell. It's not red. It's not, they didn't try to modernize it. It's just a cage. And, they had the security. It was a funny moment with Punk, like eyeing down the security and everything. And they're separating the two. They finally meet face to face. We get a visual, we get a taste, a daddy magic taste of what's to come as far as like visually. And I loved this segment, but Punk keeps going like in a box, like someone's gonna die. So I think he's got to win. A babyface can't be saying people are gonna die unless he wins. You know what I mean? Like he can't promise he's gonna kill that's the thing. You can't. He never promised he's gonna kill Drew. I don't think, or maybe he did. And that's the
He
thing. You
hasn't
can't
promised it. He's almost promised it. He's like,
but he
all
said
but
you will
promised.
have to. He did say, "I promise you will have to kill me."
Yes.
So he can't die, obviously, right? So he has to win. That or else it just completely shits all over this whole thing. That's my opinion. And then I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not saying Ethan Page is going to get involved in this Hell in a Cell, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Ethan Page is in the main roster sooner than later. Punk GTS'd him on NXT.
Yeah.
We're going to review that in a minute, but I just have to point that out. I'm not saying he's going to get involved in this match, but like, don't be shocked if Ethan Page. Don't be shocked if Ethan Page like deters Punk for like a few months from whatever, because he's like, I'm going for gold. Well, what if fucking Ethan Page deters that, and then he has a short program where Punk comes out on top over Ethan Page?
I can see that.
Like, that could just be a quick little TV, whatever.
And that's
like
when they introduce Page to the main roster. No, that would make sense.
Exactly, and he can lose. It doesn't hurt him at all. It's against
no, not
Punk.
at all.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could totally, but we're jumping ahead a little bit, possibly. Again, Phil, fantasy Mark booking over here, like I do.
Your show, dude.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, anyways, though, this promo is amazing. What do you guys think about? We're gonna preview Bad Blood, but like your guys' thoughts on the promo, anything to add to what I was saying? Or
I loved it. I liked the contrast where Punk was all in white and Drew was all in black. Like that was a pretty cool like visual and setting up the idea for anybody who can, think of what that's like alluding to. It's gonna be a bloody one.
Yep.
So there's gonna be a lot of blood. Which this deserves. It's not going to be like Moxley, who's bleeding randomly on a Wednesday. It's going to be blood for a reason, not just bleeding to bleed.
And not white like a Neo Moxley gimmick from Romper Stomper, but white like pure and
Yeah, exactly. Like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah. Dose, what about you, man?
Got nothing to add. I'm just wondering why the Unholy Union have aged in there behind me.
I fucking love the Unholy Union. We shall not speak ill. They will curse us too. Our Truth is back. The awesome Truth.
They looked next to all the faces. I mean, they were next to Kaden and Katana, and I think Lyra, and they looked like they were 6'7".
Is that why you got Hocus Pocus in the background?
Was that what that is? Yes. Yeah,
you got the Sanderson sisters.
You what?
yeah, it's Halloween. I need to have three witches.
It's spooky season.
To me, Isla Dawn is like that's to me like one of my biggest wrestling crushes personally. So I will not sit here and comment on. Yeah, but Our Truth is back. The awesome Truth. There's an interaction. Miz goes to they wrestle a tag match against AOP, and I thought this is a good piece of business. Miz turns on Truth, goes heel, thank God, because he can only be babyface for so long. And so I loved it because AOP were just kind of like, what the fuck? The ref was like, her face of shock was amazing. Wasn't overdone, like trying to steal camera time like Aubrey. It was just in the background. She's like, oh my God, like she just didn't see it coming. And then Karrion Kross laughing his ass off at, what just made it for me. That just the visual of him laughing his ass off at Miz turning on Truth just fucking put it over the top, where I was like, that's such a great piece of business for me. And I don't know, I love Miz. A lot of people shit on Miz. I think he's fucking amazing. I think he's one of the top dudes in the biz as far as you give him the ball.
There's nothing he
can
can't
any
do.
position. Yeah, he can do everything. So I look at that. He's like a Chelsea Green of the men. He can do anything you need him to do. And so I value that a lot more than some of the other, sentons and flips and fiery tables or whatever personally. But so we get heel Miz again. He turned on Truth again as well. We've already been there and done this like a decade ago. It feels like. No, didn't Miz turn on Truth back when? Yeah. So it's like we're doing this again. It worked. We can't say it didn't work, but
I mean, it's the easiest way to turn somebody heel right now because of how loved Our Truth is now. I mean, he's always been loved, but the last 5 years or so, he's maybe even more so. But like especially the last bit with Miz, it was an easy way to get Miz to go from immediately now he's a heel. We don't have to think. It's not up in the air anymore. He's a heel.
And it might sound crazy now to you guys, but just hear me out. I
Mhm.
feel like this is the first little seed planted, and what this Truth Miz thing is going to turn into, somewhat like it was in the past again, it's going to turn into Miz taking on John Cena as like one of his first opponents, and then Cena just beats Miz quick when he comes back in the start of 2025. I just trust me. I don't know how we're going to get there, but I feel like this is going to turn into Cena showing up for Truth again in like 2 months, or like right in the new year or something like that. I'm not saying draw this out as this huge program, but like you guys said, people love Truth. People fucking love to hate the Miz. So it's not like,
Would make a lot
I
of
don't know,
sense.
unless Miz just squashes him next week. It's like we can get a few matches or segments out of this Truth Miz thing. Not that it's got to be their A program, but we see in WWE they're starting to give us hot angles and programs for the go home shows, you know, for just Raw in general, and then the PLEs have like the main stuff they're trying to get over. So yeah, I could see this being like a television storyline for like a few months. Cena comes and beats Miz. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. Anyways, LWO versus Judgment Day. A bunch of flips.
I
Go ahead.
am. This whole thing not this, the last segment. That whole thing confuses me. I don't really. I mean, turning Miz heel is nothing. He's basically heel anyway. Turning him against, like, to me, the story is carrying Cross, and he's just in the background. So unless they have a plan for him, like, it would have made more sense to me if R-Truth like bumped into Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross knocked him out, and Miz just shrugged, let it go, and walked away. You know, then Miz turns heel, but Cross has R-Truth, someone he can beat without consequence. And then he goes on to do something because, you know, Karrion Kross, he's just talking in people's ears, but he's not doing anything. And he's the one that you're trying to build to be something. The Miz is Teflon, right, and R-Truth is, you know, forever loved. So I, you know, maybe they have a plan for it, but to me, it feels a little bit like treading water.
Miz and Cross versus Truth and Cena. Boom.
Well, maybe Truth and Braun.
Or Truth and Braun, maybe. But Braun just did this monster mayhem shit. Does he just go down and do comedy shit with Truth right after? I think you got to leave those guys. I think the whole Braun shit and then getting Seth involved, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is to build them up so Gunther has people to fucking fight finally again. Because there's no one.
Well, you know what? R-Truth and with his childhood hero John Cena as a tag team does sound fun.
Yeah, bro, and they already did it. Like Cena already showed up for Miz and Truth. So if he just shows up out of nowhere because Truth does Cena's moves in his matches too. He just does his shit now, and everyone cheers for it. So it just makes sense. You just have fucking Truth and Cena team up, beat up Cross and Miz, big fucking Cena return. I don't know. I could see that in the new year. But Judgment Day, LWO. Flips and stuff. This is actually a fun match. I'm super entertained by Judgment Day all the time. LWO always deliver, but it is the same old shit again. But it's how they get heat on people, man, because you get tired of it and you want to see them lose and you want to see the plans get foiled. The Judgment Day, they all just run in. They're grabbing legs. They're distracting people. Joaquin Wilde takes the fucking pin. And it was okay, but it was just a bunch of shit. You know, a bunch of shit going on. And then, the Terror Twins stand tall. After weeks of the Terror Twins being stood tall upon, I guess, if that's a good way to word it, because I think it's been like 2 weeks of the Judgment Day. If you're watching this, guys, on YouTube, you can see the visual here, standing above. This week, we got to see like Mommy whip Dom's ass around, throw him in the cage. We saw what the shark cage is going to look like. I don't like how Liv just like ran away. She's the women's champ. And I get it, cowardly chicken shit heel, but she's not fully been that. She's been willing to like attack dudes and throw herself in the fire for Dom. So then she just runs away from Rhea. I thought that was a bad move.
She came back, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I know she came back, but it was like with a back turn. Like it just seemed too cowardly for what she's been so far. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking. Maybe it's one moment where they fucked up. But they have, big brawl, just more or less of the same. What do you guys, anything to add onto that or no?
No, I think they're set up. But I mean, I'm hoping that at least that most of it ends at Bad Blood. I mean, maybe you can continue living Rhea a bit, but I feel like Damian needs to move on.
Yeah, we need Damian versus Finn, like 1-on-1 or whatever. Or that's what's coming, right? At Bad
Yeah,
Blood.
it is.
So,
yeah, that's a Bad Blood.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
and
Sorry,
so
I thought it was another tag match. Mixed tag. No. What about you, Dose? What are you thinking about this?
See, no mas.
No mas, okay. So Kofi Kingston versus Chad Gable, okay, and Gable and them come out dressed just like Kurt Angle. Angle said online he's willing to manage them even, which I think, why don't you do that and have them training with him and stuff? That would be amazing. And yeah, their music, even people figured out how to put in a "you suck."
That's great.
It's fucking amazing. I love it. And then yeah, we just see Gable defeat Kingston in a decent match. Any thoughts on this or what?
No, I mean there was the Woods kind of costume, so they were yelling at each other in the background in the scene later. So it's just more story towards that of the teasing the New Day breakup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cross was spotted earlier in the background of their vignettes. Ooh.
That was I like that they're even doing that at all. That at least they give you something, like, you know, they make the backstage vignettes. You know, I mean, you don't have to see it all, but I mean, it's gives something else to keep watching.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Final Testament. Sorry, I'll Jake. I didn't mean to step on you,
I'm
not a fan of that. That must be said. It's like, listen, man, it's AOP should just be with Ellering, and then just have Scarlett and Cross, and have him have these misfit toys, I guess, like you know, like an Xavier and a Miz, like a faction with Miz, Cross, Xavier, Scarlett. That doesn't seem like we'd like it, but Judgment Day at first didn't really seem like we'd like it. At first, it seemed kind of thrown together, and look at what it did. So I'm not saying make everyone into different factions and stuff, but so far I'm not really feeling Final Testament. And I do like Cross a whole lot. Him and Scarlett, I like them a whole lot. And I just think pairing them with Xavier and Miz doesn't seem, I don't know, like he's got to do his own thing, or he's got to make this misfit faction, but I don't know how you turn Miz into like this spooky badass type guy. So I don't think that's the direction they're going. I think this will all blow up in Cross's face eventually, is like maybe the end game. But for the time being, I am interested. And like if he's in the background laughing at people and predicting things, people keep pointing out, they're like, oh, he said this promo, and then look, this happened. Like to this day, they've been for months now, like a year now, shit Cross has been saying it like happens on the show.
Just
you know,
tweeted the other day, it was like something, you've been questioning me for 25 months. I'm like, Jesus, 25 months? That's, come on, man.
Yeah. So I think there is a bigger plan for him down the line, and he's a Triple H guy for sure. So
one hell of a long game, but I mean, if they do something that pays off, it's cool. I'd be cool for it. Like if this somehow pays off and makes people like really get into it, and some of the people that have really shat on it for a long time eat their words, that'd be cool. But I just don't see what they would be able to pull off.
So Zayn and Gunther have their little promo, and we're getting the match. I think Gunther's gonna beat Sammy's ass pillar to post in this one.
Yeah.
We get the Wyatt Six. I don't know. Do you guys anything you want to note about? Do you guys like the idea of Sami Zayn and Gunther, or do you want to wait till Bad Blood preview here to?
Well, I mean, that's not even at Bad Blood. They're doing it. I think they're doing it the Raw afterwards.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's the Raw after Bad Blood. So let's talk about it now. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think it's a good idea to have the world title match on the Raw, like, or should it be on the PLE?
I like it in the sense because Triple H has been doing this where the PLE gets the 5 big matches or big story, and then the shows around the event or get big matches too, and they still keep. So it gives Raw a reason to have a good main event. I mean, Sammy's going to get
for
killed
people to watch it. It gives people a reason to watch it. Like, oh, word, you know. And I agree with their methods. I agree with all of their methods. What say you, Dose?
I can see both sides of it. I mean, I'm used to the PLEs being, 5 matches for most of them. I don't love it. I think that's sort of a short card. If I was a fan who paid to go to that show live, I'd be pissed off. But I already have Peacock. I have it anyway, so I just feel like it's more gravy for me. and I definitely understand why you're going to put important matches on Raw and SmackDown, because you're going to want people to watch them. I just figured that, like, that's what they were doing with the women's tag team titles and the IC belt and the US title. But I mean, it makes some sense. I just think that it could have been on the PLE, but I don't feel very strongly about it either way. And like I said, I can make both arguments. It's fine. These are not things that I get terribly upset about. Like I know people are all uptight about what's supposed to be closing out or main eventing the PLE, and I agree with you, Phil. I've never cared about what's the main event and what's not. At least not that much.
No, me neither.
So
it's nitpicky.
Right. It's not like you're paying $50 and like, even when you were paying $50, did you really want to wait 3.5 hours for the thing you were really paying for? I mean, I would have been perfectly happy if the main event was in the middle of the show. So.
Yeah, and if it was me personally, I would prefer if the world title goes on last. But do you know what else I prefer? But I don't care at all if it doesn't at all. And do you know what else I prefer? If there isn't 2 world fucking titles. But we're in a position where there are. So you know what I mean? I'm totally good with one being defended on Raw and only on TV for that matter. And if the other one's only defended on PLEs, I would fucking jump for joy.
Neither is being defended on the PLE, which is the only interesting asterisk to this. Again, not something I care about, but it is an interesting counter to what you just said.
Right. And so a new Wyatt 6 video aired. It says, "Don't force your hand." Now, WWE is going to obviously, they go so hard on me, but right here, I'm going to scroll right to the end because I did it myself. And right at the end here, that's clearly Alexa Bliss, right? Can you guys see that?
I thought it's Nikki Cross.
Is that Nikki? Oh, maybe that is Nikki Cross. Yeah, you're right.
I could see it being either. Look at the way the angle is, but
yeah, now that you're saying it, I'm like, no, that is Nikki Cross. Yeah, shit. God damn it!
I scanned the QR code and did some of this stuff. I mean, I don't mind this. I feel like a lot of people are acting like this is like the main, like people that are really shitting.
Yeah, that is Nikki Cross. God damn it, Dose. I thought that was for surely Alexa Bliss. I just forget because
I think I just saved you from looking dumb. So okay.
Yeah.
You usually do that for us.
No, yeah, fuck it.
Not lately.
Yeah.
I've had a bad couple of days.
Listen though, I would easily eat that one on the chin because this is just spooky, weird shit. Who knew? But yeah, you're right. That is Cross. Here's the thing, dude. I completely just drew a blank about her even being in that fucking group because all she does is jump out of nowhere and attack people. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's not Bliss doing the spooky shit anymore. So yeah, but yes, Nikki Cross right there. So hopefully this means she gets a match soon. I don't fucking know, right? Is this a promo for her? What happens with the Wyatt 6 guys? Like, what do they do with them? Where do they go from here? Do they attack the world champion? Who's their main player? I know we're going to discover that, but they got to do more than just show me vague, Sister Abigail spooky videos. I'm into the shit. I have been for a long time, but you got to do more than just this for me. What do you guys think?
I think that they sort of tipped their hand that I mean, Nikki Cross may be, making some pursuit, but I think the easy way out is that Rowan and what was his name? Dexter Lumis. I was going to say Shaw, and Dexter Lumis get the tag team titles from Judgment Day. So you have the former spooky faction loses to the current spooky face faction, and because I'm not really sure they know what to do with Wyatt 6, just like I'm not sure they know what to do. Like, I don't think this thing with Cross has been a 25-month long game. I think Cross is smart enough to make it seem like it has been. And I think he's earning his money by doing that and keeping himself relevant and not forgotten. So kudos to him for doing that. And I'm also a Cross fan. By the way, Phil, I like every single person, AOP. I mean, in Last Testament, but together they don't make any sense to me. So, and I don't know necessarily that's an intersection with Wyatt 6 or not, but that could be eventually, like for the tag team titles. That's you sort of have faction, warfare with the tag team titles, in the center of it. But I think short answer is I think tag team, taking them from the Judgment Day, and then maybe revisit the Creeds again.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Revisit the Creeds again. Damn. So they reveal that Ilya Dragunov will be out for 6 to 9 months with a torn ACL. Prayers up for him. And I think that's a blessing in disguise because he hasn't been that good for me on the main roster. And I know it's fucked, like he got injured, which isn't good, but he's going to come back in 6 months, like at a time where they need him. Like he'll fit in. There'll be a place where they actually need him. Like, oh shit, Dragunov's back and can challenge for the IC title. It was getting stale or whatever, like he'll come back. His gimmick will be refreshed. He won't just be this guy that walks down to the ring and waves his hands around, and he'll figure it out, man. He'll come. It happens to people sometimes. They get hurt and it doesn't make sense and it's shitty, but it's because they're meant to come back at a later time. I'm positive of that, if you want to get all hippie about it. But yeah, then we get the Awesome Truth versus Authors of Pain. So yeah, I jumped the gun earlier, already reviewed and talked about that. But the main event here is what I want to get to. The last monster standing. I called it. I said, yo, that ring's exploding. I know a lot of people knew it was coming, but
well, especially when the show started with they didn't have the LED post. Like once you saw the old school like steel cylinder posts for the ring posts, it's like, oh yeah, that sucker's coming down. That's fun.
Yeah, and like I had called it before too when they teased the superplex the first time. I don't know if it was a week or two prior, but obviously they're obviously going to explode the ring, right? So I'm calling it out. I think everybody kind of knew, and it was a little underwhelming. I like when the ring collapsed, but it seemed like it didn't collapse as well as it did in past times. But I thought it was amazing. The visual, if you guys are watching, you can see here, but the whole arena was just destroyed. There was bodies laying everywhere. Superplex happens, bodies everywhere. Rollins returns, hits a curb stomp onto Bronson Reed, so they're gonna feud. Like now we get a Reed Rollins program. That's amazing. And all I'm saying, if Reed comes out the other end of that on top, you have like a world title. You have a guy who could fight Cody. You have a guy who could fight for the world title. You have a real guy, man. And I don't know. I love this. Yeah, and the visual was amazing. It's how they went off. They went off the air that way. No, yeah.
So that was it. That was the end of it. I thought it was cool.
This guy gave it an A+. I thought it was awesome. Rollins came back and started up something with Reed. Everyone wants to cry, oh, Jonah and Okada. Well, here you go. You get Jonah and fucking Tyler Black, son. So what's up?
And I think that's why the ring didn't explode quite as much as like it had before. So it could be level, because if you see it in the picture there, it's kind of level so that Rollins, because it was about the exploding ring, but also more so Seth could come back and make that big moment. I thought it was done perfectly. I
thought it was a phenomenal Raw, and I'm so sad Raw is only 2 hours. I want both Raw and SmackDown to be 3 hours apiece. I'm that much of a mark. What did you think, Dose, about the final segment?
I thought the segment was good. I liked they protected Reed, who they're investing in, and Seth versus Reed is a good little diversion, keeps him away from the top, and it gives Strowman's a case to say, I was the last monster standing, so Gunther, you're the monster now in my way, and that gives Gunther like a little mini feud between now and Rumble until we have to establish whoever the next contender is, and Braun Strowman versus Gunther at Crown Jewel. I mean,
that's it. That's exactly what I think is going to happen there. Yeah. Exactly where that match is perfect.
I mean, I'll tell you a little story. I went to Ring of Honor Final Battle in 2019 or 2020 when it was still Ring of Honor, but it was their final show. They were still in denial. They're still like, we're going to reimagine in 3 months and all that, and people were still half believing that. Anyway, during that show, EC3 came out under the Control Your Narrative thing, and he said, I'm going to release the Kraken, and then all of a sudden Braun Strowman comes out. I forgot what he was calling himself then. But he comes out, and he got the biggest pop from a Ring of Honor crowd, second to no one. By the way, if you're wondering, the second biggest pop was Dalton Castle. The third was, I'm sorry, not Dalton Castle, Danhausen. The next was Dalton Castle. And then the most sustained pop, but not the loudest, was the Briscoe Boys, of course.
Right.
But and what I'm getting to is that people who don't see someone like a Braun Strowman frequently love it. So like in foreign crowds where you get a guy that's like legitimately 6'8", 6'9" with wrestling boots or whatever, and 350 or whatever he really is, that's an attraction. That's the definition of what an attraction is, and he's perfect for this. And and if they ever need another attraction, dust off Omos and bring him in. People like Omos never wins. I'm like, just have him come in and beat people 3 weeks in a row. That's all it takes.
I'm telling you, they need to make a faction with Obafemi, Omos, and someone mouthpiecing them. I thought MVP could be that guy, but just someone mouthpiecing them. Let them run off on the main line.
Anyone. I think Obafemi right now is fine on his own.
I know, but I'm just building that. Like, to me, his whole gimmick is M'Baku from Black Panther, so it's like, have him build his like tribe or whatever. I just think that would be amazing. I just could see that being but he doesn't need anyone. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna go full tribal, then you can give Apollo Crews back his
okay, but that was
gimmick, and Kofi Kingston can go back to being Ghana and the Oro Mez, and you just create the African Union.
No, I'm talking like the real version, not the Vince version. Yeah, I'll just like make up where they're from. It'll be great.
He's a Nigerian prince, pal.
Yeah. All of a sudden, after he was just a guy who did a backflip.
Well, he was Uha Nation on the Indies. I mean, I think he is Nigerian.
He is. He does have it. Because he said the accent he was doing was like his father or his uncle, like one of his close family members. That's why he was able to do the accent.
Yeah, he was Uha Nation.
People slide in and out of accents. When I go back to New York, give me 2 days there, and I'll be speaking, like Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I've got family in Massachusetts. After a couple of days, I'll start sounding like Peter Griffin. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it comes out.
So we were talking about bad blood, and baby, now we got bad blood. Hey, now we got problems. So, I guess we'll just.
That'll be my wife's favorite part of this show.
What the hell was that?
Taylor Swift.
You ain't a Swiftie, bro? What are you doing? Dose? Live under a rock, dude? Swift.
If it wasn't for my wife, buddy, I would have no idea. I'm with you, Dose. I hear it in my. It's anytime my wife's listening to music in the other room or taking a shower, I hear it. So that's the only reason I do.
I know Taylor Dane. Does that count?
Yes.
No.
So CM Punk's taken on Drew McIntyre and presumably not the main event. Apparently they're opening the show with the main event in a Hell in a Cell match. What do you all predict for this match? I'm going Punk. What do you all predict? It's a bloodbath. Punk. Give me your quick picks. We'll start with Jake.
I think Punk's going to bleed the most, but I think he's going to win. I think that somehow this is going to be where Drew gets some time off, because I don't think Drew's taken any time off for a bit. I think we probably don't see Drew until the Rumble. Like, give him a little, because I know his wife was sick and he was kind of like pushing through and stuff. So I think it'd be a good way for him to kind of take a little break. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think Punk's going to be bloody as hell, but he's going to win the match.
What say you, Dose?
I didn't like the last match. I knew Punk was going to win it, but Drew tapping out and then to the sharpshooter or whatever, not once but twice, I think made him look like a little bitch. Drew needs to win this. He needs to win more than Punk. I absolutely think Ethan Page is going to get himself somehow involved in this through a distraction or whatever. So Punk will bleed more. He'll look like he's going to win. He'll be protected, and Ethan Page will be distracted. But Drew needs to find his way back into title contention. He's been going through all this. It's like the strangest heel chase of all time, but that's what this is. It's a heel chase, and so I think Drew wins, and maybe he's the one who has to go through Braun and one more monster to get to Gunther or whatever. But I think Gunther as a champion is boring as hell. I think that like Alexa Bliss or Sonya Deville would be better off as like his manager, and they should give him AOP as his thugs. I don't know why they ever broke up Imperium, though I know the rumor. Anyway, you said real quick, and now I'm going into meandering. So you heard.
What's
Drew,
the rumor about?
I was going to say, wait a minute now.
I heard you say the rumor, but I heard that listen, I don't put any stock in it. It was just a rumor, but the rumor was that Giovanni Vinci may have been getting a little frisky with Tiffany Stratton. Again, rumor. I heard it on a podcast. That's it. The end. I have no reason to believe that there's any truth to it whatsoever. I'm not trying to spread. I'm just saying I heard it on a podcast and I saw it on some posts on Twitter. Whose I couldn't even tell you. I don't know even if it was a dirt sheet or not. Again, I'm not affirming it or anything like that. I don't want people to go to town on me about that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's someone shit flies around all the time, man. It's the
rumor and
wrestling
innuendo.
But okay, so he picks Drew.
That's not the kind of rumor and innuendo I like. I like the business kind of rumor and I don't like. My biggest mistake ever on X was going tabloid.
Fucking dose, man. So you're the best, dude. Okay, so Nia Jax, the champ, defending against Bayley. I say Nia defends one more again, as Dose would, Awful would say. So Nia Jax defends against Bayley. What say you guys?
Yeah, I agree. Nia wins in a match. It should be good. I mean, it'll be fine.
The story isn't Bayley. I mean, the story is, when does Tiffany actually cash in on Nia, and then finds herself her new muscle or whatever. But yeah, I don't. Bayley, people love Bayley. I know why. I appreciate Bayley, but like, if Bayley was gone, I don't think I'd miss her.
Yeah, I'm not like, to me, I don't even know what you do with her after this. I'm just not their biggest fan ever, really. As hard Damage Control got over with me, they kicked her out of it, and now I don't care about her. I'm still a fan of Damage Control. You know what I mean? I don't care what she's doing now.
It seems like there's something that's going to happen between her and Naomi, but I don't know what it is. But it won't be. There's not going to be interference in every match in this card.
Yeah.
No. I think Nia just beats her. So then we have Priest versus Balor. There's going to be all the interference in this match. Priest versus Balor. What is your predictions? I say Finn gets the win over. Actually, no, pardon me. I think Priest gets the win over Finn. And then the next match, they're sort of tied together, right? So and then we have Liv, who's the champ, against Rhea with Dom in a shark cage. I think Liv defends the belt over Rhea. So I think Priest beats Balor, Liv beats Rhea. Now, I don't mean to pull the Meltzer, but it could be the reverse of that too. But I don't think we're going to get Judgment Day clean sweep is all I'm getting at. But if I'm going to lay down, I'm going to say Priest gets his big win, because he can't keep losing. And then Liv can beat Rhea one more time. And then Rhea can get hers eventually still. Do you guys agree with that, or am I off on that?
No, that's exactly what I think. No one's clean sweeping, whether it's the Judgment Day or the Terror Twins, I don't think. And because I think Priest needs to win, and I think that Liv, it's like somehow the shark cage will, distract or whatever. But nope. When you said Finn, I was like, oh, maybe we're going to disagree on these ones. But yeah, no, I agree. Priest and Morgan.
Truth be told, I don't really know. I think that the type of interference we get is gonna tell a tale. So if the interference is like on the Jumbotron and there's in the crowd and in the backstage area and not by the ring, Priest definitely wins. But I kind of think that they have to have Finn win to continue this feud for Priest to eventually win the big one. Because I don't know what else you're planning to do with him, because I don't exactly see him in the world title picture again in the near term. So I think either Finn needs to win or Priest needs to win, but they all clobber him afterwards, and then he wants more. So I'm gonna go. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point.
Go against the grain, bro. Pick Finn, man, because you are making sense, and like I could see what you're saying. Like to me, I feel like Finn does need to win more, like for him, but I think Priest needs it more because like Finn's already been a Universal champ. Priest needs to get back up to that world title contention, I think, as well.
I think that Finn needs the win more for Priest than for Finn. I think that it doesn't matter what Finn does anymore. He's 43, 44 years old. He's like his day in the sun is done, and he's got a tag team title, so he doesn't really need to win. He can take the pin. Everything in Wrestling 101 says he should take the pin. But what else does Priest do? What does he move on to? He can't move down to JD and down to Carlito. So either someone new has to come into Judgment Day, God forbid, because we don't want them anymore, or he moves on to Dominic. But Dominic, I think, is going back to Ray. So this feud needs to continue. So, like I said, if Priest wins, Judgment Day clobbers him afterwards, and he still wants more revenge. I'm going to go with the Finn win on this one, but through antics, through shenanigans, not clean at all.
And then what about Liv and Rhea?
Wow. I sort of, I don't understand the stipulation except the Dom's in the shark cage, right? I mean, that's the only stipulation. He just can't get involved. So obviously he's going to do something to get out of the shark cage. So I don't know if that means that Rhea wins by disqualification because he gets involved anyway. I see Liv retaining and Rhea still having to chase some more, but I think Rhea wins the match.
Okay, yeah, that's a good. I might have to switch. See, you're convincing me over here. This guy, for real, he's convincing me over here. So, guys, we'll put it
like Triple H. Like he's always trying to move things forward with the most obvious story.
We're gonna put an asterisk. Okay, go ahead, Jake.
So two things. Just the fact that we can have this conversation about the show and that it's not like predictable as hell.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly.
That's number one. And number two, I agree that I do think the feud will still continue, but can Priest still win his match? And because of how they screw Rhea and his connection with Rhea, can that still continue their story within there? Because I agree that I don't know. Yeah. Like I want Priest. I wish Priest could break away and do something on his own. I just don't know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? I just like as Dose was talking, I was like trying to run through. I'm like, I could come up with something. And I'm like, I got nothing.
I'm giving my official picks on the fly the day of, like I always do. When I do it the day of, I'm usually flawless victory. And Dose might have swayed my opinion though on the Rhea thing. Because I think that makes sense too. Like Liv retains,
there's a lot of
Rhea technically wins. So I guess my pick is Liv will leave with her fucking belt. Because you know what I mean? She'll leave with her belt one way or the other. I don't know who's gonna win or lose, but
Dominic takes like 2 riptides from Rhea.
Bro, that's exactly because they're building up to her riptiding him too. Yeah. And then maybe she looks at it because the story's been, now hear me out now. Because see, Dose just click something in my brain here. Hear me out. So the story's been that like her anger towards Dom has like overtaken even her want to like beat Liv and like get that belt back. Sort of, we've seen where her right. So this time, finally, they've been building up to her riptiding Dom. She keeps not riptiding him. All of a sudden, she hits him with the fucking riptide. It's a DQ, and she has that moment where she's like looking at Liv, and then like, or do I hit Dom with the riptide? Fucking riptide him. DQ. You know what I mean? I could totally see a moment like that too, where she looks totally badass, but she doesn't leave with the belt. So Dose just might have came up with something. But anyways, or maybe I came up with it and I just added it to you there, bud. But you have a good you're right about that. I do think Rhea does not win the belt, but she does win the match. That's a good way to do it, because then it gives room. Like, why else would they rematch if Liv's beaten her twice or whatever? But it's because it was a DQ, so she needs to have a fucking rematch.
Shit, now you might have convinced me with that last sentence right there. I was starting to teeter on the fence, and right there, how do you continue? Like, damn it, that's a good point. That's a good conversation though, because
we shit really on AEW for that with Swerve and shit. Swerve beats Hangman 3 times, and then we got to look forward to another match. It's like we can't do that with Liv and Rhea. But anyways, though, we got to get to the
Swerve goes away.
What's that?
And then Swerve takes time off.
Yeah. So we got to get to the main event, though. What's presumably the main event, or if they open the show with it,
it's going to be one or the other, I feel like.
Yeah. But apparently this is going on last because something big is happening.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you guys saw Cody on McAfee, where they kind of teased that. McAfee says something. Yeah, and so there's something's gonna happen. I don't know what it is. Heyman has to come back. I think this is where Heyman returns.
I'm no dirt sheet, but I asked a couple people in the DMs. I was like, okay, like what do you think is whatever? And people are like, oh man, it's gonna be The Rock or some shit. Is like, well, if he's not there, there's gonna be some sort of fucking.
Can I throw a wrinkle in there?
Yeah, please. Go. Let's hear it. Yeah.
I mean, you heard what I said earlier, and this is not a prediction, but it is a fact that on WWE's active roster page again,
Lesnar.
Exactly.
Brock Lesnar. Yes, they just put him back on, dude, and like that's what I'm saying. Something big. And think about this too. Remember how we last saw Brock giving Cody respect?
Mm-hmm.
Brock, someone called it. It may have been Dose. It was somebody who said Cody and the Avengers. I think that was you, Dose.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah, dude. So you said that, and it was like one person whose name was thrown in there was, dude, we last saw Brock showing Cody respect. Brock shows up, both, and remember, Brock and Roman infamously hate each other. So Brock and
that bridge.
Cody and Roman don't know what's going to happen. Like,
and you know what else
shit,
just
is he here to
happens?
fuck us up? Is he here to fuck us up? Boom, he F5s like Solo or something. He aligns with Cody and Roman or whatever,
right.
Dude. That would be insane. The roof would blow off that bitch. So either way, whether it's because I heard too, it could be like a video thing that plays, not even a person showing up, but like a video package at the end of the thing. I think that's what Cody teased on McAfee actually as well, was they filmed something.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be Cody. It could be like a video. Oh, The Rock's returning for Netflix. It could be anything like that, or physical appearance. But Rock, they're in such a good position. And if nothing happens, hopefully I'll still be fulfilled. But from what I'm fucking hearing, something crazy is going to happen. And that's why they're hyping the show up. That's why they have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill hosting, etc. Sorry, you guys go ahead.
No, I've just been kind of thinking, and I haven't said this for a while because I still think that it's going to probably be Bloodline versus Bloodline in War Games. But I feel like because of if Jay keeps the IC title and stays away from it, and like Dos was saying, maybe Sammy doesn't go over there. What if it was like, the current new Bloodline, they add Hikuleo, and then you have on the other side Roman, Cody, Brock, KO, Randy.
Or Sammy. Love it.
Or it's like some amazing team. And then like Heyman's trying to bridge those gaps. Like that could, and then they save the Bloodline versus Bloodline for maybe WrestleMania on some level. Like Triple H, there's so much cooking that could easily be where Brock was a wrench that I didn't know was thrown into the mix. I didn't know he was brought back to the roster.
Yeah,
page.
They put him on the roster. Like, yes.
And with how little last left and Heyman being the bridge.
The fact that the Mr. McMahon series on Netflix, stayed in the top 10. Listen, I didn't think anybody was going to be interested in watching it. And I thought for a wrestling fan, it was a waste of time to watch anything except maybe like the last 35 minutes and a few other segments. But like Netflix says over 4.9 million people watched it. And if they can tolerate Mr. McMahon and watch that, then they'll tolerate Brock. And plus, WWE fans, 96% of them aren't caught up in all of of that other stuff.
And according to the thing, like Brock, I mean, he got text and said things to Vince, but he could have just been saying that to Vince because this crazy old guy. I'll just text him back with that,
Right,
I don't know if
I know it's plenty of gray in that. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, so I could see easily people just wiping that. And plus, I mean, that music hits, the crowd's gonna pop. That goes a long way.
Puff Daddy's giving everybody a lot of.
Oh my God!
Oh, good Lord!
Oh, come on now, Evil Dose. That's not very fair to do that on a podcast. Bring up Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Pop
Diddy,
Sean Combs.
Yeah.
So
at this point,
that was our Bad Blood preview. Hopefully something big happens. I feel it in my bones. And then also there's a UFC that night. So we had NXT, the debut of the Platinum Era. I'm not going to dwell on anything too much, but shockingly, Cora Jade returned, cost Giulia the title against Roxanne. I get why people are mad, but I also understand why this is the move. You can't have people from Japan and Mexico and TNA and AEW coming in and beating everybody all the time. And so you have to, it makes sense to keep the belt on Roxanne, and Giulia I could see just bypassing along, like, and just going to the main roster sooner than later anyways. So I'm all the way down with this decision, although it did shock me, amazingly so. What do you guys think about their choice to go with that?
I thought the smartest play was to have it make everybody think it was going to be Stephanie Vaquer and have it be Cora Jade. I thought that was the best part of the whole, how they did it. And I think it was smart too for, you know, it was the way to keep Giulia looking strong, but not put the belt on her. Like, I was wondering going into the show how they were going to do that, because I thought it was the best move not to put the belt on her yet, but make her look strong. So I thought it was perfect booking.
Dose, did you indulge in the CW debut of the Platinum era of NXT, and what were your thoughts if so?
Yeah, NXT is the only show that I try to make sure to watch live.
Good. Oh my God. See, dude,
so much fun.
Us three here are like, dude, NXT is the best wrestling
Team
show on
NXT.
TV. Yes, dude, let's go.
I love I love the look of it. I loved how the wrestlers in the ring, the camera seemed a little bit further away. I love sort of like the smoke through the lights. I love the big crowd. I love the energy of the whole thing. It felt, you know, sometimes the WWE production is so crisp and clear that it feels too manufactured. Like, sometimes I like the look of the AEW product on TV better. It looks a little, it's clean, but it looks a little grittier. I'm not talking about the way the wrestlers move. I'm just talking about the look of the screen.
Right.
As far as the booking is concerned, I agree. The Stephanie Vaquer thing was definitely a good swerve. I have zero problem with Roxanne Perez keeping with Cora Jade's help. I don't think that Giulia should have just walked right in and gotten the title. You're not going to do a Mercedes Moné kind of thing. They already pulled, you know, some shenanigans with Ethan Page and did that once. And I don't think that Giulia is going straight to the main roster. I think that she's going to earn that title, or the hard way, at some point in NXT. And I think they want her to learn enough English that she can at least cut an Asuka promo. Like, because right now, I think they tried to do a Funaki. They realized that was a disaster. How she's trying to do some English. No, it was a disaster. It was so boring. And I think that what they're going to settle on is her yelling things in Japanese, sort of like Asuka was, but she's going to know like a couple of catchphrases, and that'll be good enough for the next 4 years.
So they also played a promo for Delta. You guys excited for that? I'm not overly familiar, and sure, I'm excited. Sure, let's beef up the women's wrestling. I love it, you know, but I don't really know.
My
I'm not
exact
a big
response.
fan or anything.
I don't know anything about her. I've heard nothing but good things, and I fully trust the PC to show up. They're going to train her well, and it was a cool little vignette. I'm excited. Sure, why not?
I just don't know what they do with all these people. I mean, they have like 40 women on NXT that you know deserve time. It's a good problem to have.
I was just going to say, not the worst problem to have.
Yeah, which is why it's great to do in partnerships with TNA and some other promotions. I just hope that they last and expand, because, like, you know, I don't want like a Carmen Petrovic, Ariana Grace, and like Izzy Dane and Thea Hales to get lost in the shuffle, but they're not the top tier. I don't want my JC Janes and Jasmine Nixes and Fallon. I mean, I could just keep talking all day about all of them, because you know, you sort of watch them grow up, but they also, all of them are good.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite part of watching NXT, is watching the development. Like Ren Sinclair, like watching her become into a character. It's been fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Like, it really is. Yeah,
she's such a farmer's daughter, but she's playing this role so good. I mean,
it's great. I love
Maddie
it.
Renkowski, dude. Yeah, I was putting her over when she was jobbing in on AEW Dark and shit, bro. I've been such a fan of her.
I was putting her over when she was on NWA.
Yeah. Wait, dude, just seeing her fucking like on NXT doing the thing, man. I'm like, dude, I'm just so happy to, because in AEW, like the first couple times I saw her, I'm like, why don't they do anything more with this girl? You know, she just sort of disappeared. She was involved with Jade Cargill a bit, and I was like, that's awesome. Then she just disappeared, and I'm like, where, you know, there's something about her, you know, she just gets it. Then you follow her on social media, she's cutting her own vignettes. They're amazing. Yeah, the women's division just overall in NXT, I agree. But here's the thing. If I'm Shawn Michaels and I'm Triple H, I'm looking at each country in the world and I'm finding whatever they're popping indie or whatever, you know what I mean? Region, however you want to do it. But I'm going to every place in the world and I'm just finding like an indie that's established that we can, okay, let's farm guys and send people here and stuff. I don't know
Well,
if
there's
they're
another
already
thing
on
I'm
that
doing.
initiative or not, but
I'm creating an all women's, all rosters 2-hour show and selling it to the highest bidder. Put it on against Collision or whatever.
ooh,
Or Thursday nights. Maybe whenever TNA is over, before TNA starts. But there's too many women
an
to do.
all women show 2 hours long. Do you think that would work? I think that would work for
I think it would work
WWE.
now. Listen, if I think it works, 5 years ago, my most famous quote besides Seth Rollins ruins everything is that nobody cares about women's wrestling. I'm an advocate for women's wrestling now.
Dude,
Says
word.
it all.
That's good. WNXT or what?
WNXT, I'm down with that. I couldn't get WWE.
So we had Wesley and Zach Wentz, tremendous match, fucking crazy. Wentz missed the table. It was insane.
Yeah.
I love both of these guys. Rascals are awesome. Obviously Wesley has to win because he's the NXT guy still, even though Wentz, the reason we've seen him cross over so prominently is because WWE always loved him. They didn't want to let him go, really. But anyways, and he's been prominent in TNA. So whatever. Good end of the feud. We had Miz TV featuring Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo. Now, I like D'Angelo and shit. I just don't. I don't know. I just want to see Oba Femi. Like, I get it. All we see him do is destroy people. I just want to see him keep destroying people. I don't like that he's like selling for D'Angelo and shit. I don't know why. You compare them both, and I'm like, Oba Femi clears everyone, Yeah. So whatever. I'm just a big mark for him. I like Tony D'Angelo too, but to me, it's still kind of like goofy comedy wrestling stuff, and I'm not against it. They do it so well. The whole family. The whole gabagoo, hey, I'm over here now. Like that whole thing, I love it. I'm down, but it's just not serious to me as like NXT champ and North American champ to me. So whatever, nitpicky, but I just want to see Femi move on from dude. But and then the Miz TV thing is weird. I don't like when Femi's talking for himself all the time either. I want someone to talk for him and then him to come in and then drop his couple bars at the end and you go, oh, he actually can kind of talk. They're like Batista and him too quick. You know what I'm saying? Like this could be on the main roster where they finally let him go solo. We're seeing it now. And that's my one pet peeve with NXT. God damn it. They do some of their best work in NXT. Like I'm already seeing some shit I should be seeing in like 5 years from this guy, but whatever. That's again, maybe nitpicky. I love Femi. I'm only putting him over here. I'm just criticizing how he could be even better, but we don't have time machines. Can't go back. Loving it though. Moving along. I'm sorry to breeze through it, but Jada Parker, Lola Vice take on Fatal Influence. I'm not a fan of Fatal Influence. Why the fuck isn't Gigi, JC Jane together and you just put in two new girls?
Didn't Gigi get hurt?
Yeah. Well, okay, if she did, great. But all I'm saying is now she's in a thing called Fatal Influence. So is that like toxic attraction? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just have, that's the same thing. Okay, that's like System of a Down. Oh, we're Theory of a Dead Man. It's like, all right, right? So to me, I'm like, okay, have JC, like when Mandy Rose left Toxic Attraction, they did nothing with the breakup. Nothing big came of that. So they should just have JC and Gigi with two new girls. We're Toxic Attraction, and then until Mandy Rose decides she wants to come back or whatever. But to me, it's just like JC Jane's now just like a third in this act. Like Fallon Henley's the most important girl in this trio, and JC Jane's like, to me, light years above all the girls in NXT. I don't know why she's not on the main roster. So I don't know. I'm a hater. I'll hate on that part, but Parker and Vice together works for me. Parker's so over, dude. That pop, she's so fine too. Her little entrance dance thing, to me, I told you guys so much. She's real as fuck. She's so real to me. And Lola Vice as well is as real as it gets. So I don't know if y'all have seen her fucking Bellator highlights. She's as real as it gets. So Them together, amazing, and their feud's amazing. And again, women killing it in NXT. What do you guys think?
Couldn't agree more.
Through a lot of things there. So let me go back. I like Tony D'Angelo a lot, but I'm not digging this Rocky 3 thing. He almost has to win because of that. And the only logic to it is that, WWE, they do this thing where you lose the mid-card title to advance to the higher title. I don't really like the trope, but that might be the way they go. And I'm pretty sure they've had Trick be heel champion, face champion, chasing as the face, getting the title back. So who are you going to lose it to? A guy that they could turn face anytime, that's indomitable, and then Trick comes up in Royal Rumble. But I hated this segment on Miz TV. It was so awkward, and it was almost like both of them knew what their promos were going to be, but they weren't listening to each other. And mostly Tony D, who's the veteran, because Tony D was responding to Obafemi, but he wasn't responding to anything Obafemi said. So I don't know if Obafemi forgot his lines or Tony D just was vamping, but all of a sudden he's going into, you don't know what you're talking about, where I'm from. You don't know where I'm from Chicago. First of all, his whole act is like he's a New York gangster, not a Chicago gangster. But nobody talked about where he was from or that he came from something. I mean, it was completely non-responsive. All right. Lola, love her as a face. She sucks. She's a heel. She's supposed to be a heel forever. Yeah. I agree with you. Jade is real. Fallon and JC, I think they're our player coaches. I think they're both great. I actually think right now they're there because probably the most important woman in that faction is Jasmine Nix, because I think they want her to get developed real quick to make her another, Cora Jade, Tiffany Stratton type. But Fallon and JC Jane will both have, 15-year careers, no problem in WWE. This match, though, was not that great, but it told the story. Can they coexist? No, they can't coexist. So good. They can't both be faces. They're both probably better as heels, but Jasmine, because she is so real, she works as a face. Lola, she's fallen into that Raquel Rodriguez thing where she's doing the dance and smiling, and just feels phony.
Yeah, and we had Bianca Jade and Kalani Jordan as well. That was a good little segment. Crowd pop for that. Huge building. They outdrew Dynamites. Jake, what about you, man? What say you about just anything you want to comment on?
Yeah, so I agree with you on the women's segment. To go back to Tony D and Obafemi, it's funny that Joe said that, because that was the vibe that I got from that entire segment. Was like I don't know if I think Tony D is going to win, but if he does win, it's to send Oba to the main title, which I could see that happening. So I could see if Tony wins, maybe because of the family gets involved. I'm wondering if that, or maybe Oba turns heel, because I know some of he made some that, was it like misogynistic comment to Rizzo. So I could see him maybe turning heel. Is he not heel?
I thought he's been heel this whole time. Just people love him.
He's sort of a heel.
Right? That's kind of that. When he comes out and they'll go the whoo and the chant and they hit that little hop step he does. But
I just love him and acknowledge.
That's great. Yeah, it's kind of what it is. Yeah,
destroy everyone in the room in any room he's
in. I mean, when you're that big and just destroy people, it's hard.
Yeah, he is M'Baku, dude.
But we were talking about Breaker before. It's just like, the dogs are barking because he's fucking cool. Like, it's just what he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we go into the main event, and then they we're in the platinum era of NXT, guys. So we have 2 new titles, and I like the belts. They look kind of UFC-ish, like the BMF title-ish in a way. And so, it was Ethan Page, Trick Williams, and now it makes sense. And WWE's always 10 steps ahead. It makes sense why they gave Ethan this little run. Trick wins it on the CW debut, where they draw almost 900,000 viewers on television, where they draw 7,000 person plus house, and Trick Williams to usher in the platinum era with the new NXT title. He's the first guy to carry this new belt into the new era. WWE with the vision way ahead of all of us. And it was brilliant. I'm not going to dissect the match, but what a moment. And then Ethan Page eating the GTS as the credits rolled was nasty work. And he's got to go and after Punk, after their interactions. And then after that, How does he not go after Punk on the main roster? Makes so much sense. And he's the type of guy in his character where he came in NXT, he bypassed everything, got a world title. So he wants to come to he's going to bypass NXT, go right to the main roster, and I'm going to just stay, and then I'm going to try and work my way. If I beat Punk, I get a world title shot first, like that's just his character. It makes so much sense. And wow, just it felt a little rushed though. The ending was like, it was kind of, they're rushing to get off TV.
That was the first time they haven't had the overrun. I mean, they've had an overrun on USA forever. This is the first time they had that hard network out. But Paige, it's good. I thought it was great for Paige too, because he got that little run, and then he still gets like, hey, I was the fastest person ever to be signed and get the main title on the show ever, so he gets all that. He still has thinking that maybe Drew would go away, because then that could be where Punk goes to Paige. But we'll see. I think it'll be interesting for sure. But I thought the match was fun. I thought it was a good show and a great way to kick them off on the CW.
What say you, Dose?
I agree with everything both of you say, and I just want to emphasize, I think the belts look great. They look new yet distressed, which I think is a really cool look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great way to describe them. So that was NXT, Bad Blood, Raw. That's all of our WWE stuff, guys. Round of applause for that. So guys, last night, but actually 2 days ago, because Time Cop, when this airs, it'll be a couple days later, like my favorite movie, which is kind of like Back to the Future, but with guns and kung fu. So we watched the 5-year anniversary last night of Dynamite.
We didn't.
Quarter hours came out. Well, Dose, you didn't.
If you guys want to hear our reactions,
yeah, you guys can check it out. Overall, I thought that the building that they chose to run was full, so that was awesome. It was well lit, so the production was nice. The camera could come in. I hope they continue doing that. And like I said, I almost called their TV deal to a fucking T. And I don't know what else to say. Congrats. It doesn't mean the creative's going to be good because they got a TV deal. The match with Ricochet and Ospreay, again, what did I tell you guys? They're just going to do those same spots from Japan. Lucky for us, they did them like really early in the match, and then they tried to do some like lariats and a couple little holds real quick to try and slow it down. So at least they tried. So I'll give them that. The show wasn't the worst. It was actually a decent episode of Dynamite, like all things considered. But before they went on the air, we'll talk about that after. Let me just get it all out of the way here. Here's the quarter hour breakdown. They drew like 6. What was the average? Jake, I'm sure you remember it. 690.
I was like 690 or 695 because we were saying
so
680.
680.
680. NXT drew 895, and insane. And they're gonna crack over 1 million. Knock on wood, but
debate and some baseball games too that were pretty important. So,
and bro, NXT and AEW go head to head this coming Tuesday, which I can't wait for the meltdowns online. Holy shit, there were meltdowns when this deal was announced. I just want to get the episode out of the way because we have to preface it all by saying, see, just because there's a TV deal, it doesn't mean it's really going to change the perception. This overrun, Tony put a 30-minute overrun, killed the average, killed the show. Actually, even the average, I think, would have been what, just below 700K, even without the whatever. I don't dwell on the ratings.
The overall usually doesn't get factored into the average. Sometimes it is later. I'm not sure if it is in that 680 or not, but it would only make it
this was a test. I think this was a test for Dynamite to get its 3rd hour. I told y'all Rampage isn't a part of the deal whatsoever, which I know Dose is going to fucking get into. I'm going to give you the ball, Dose. But what I'm saying is I think it's eliminated and they'll add the 3rd hour to Dynamite eventually. And then they just call it Rampage, or they just don't do that. And maybe this half hour was like a test because Tony Khan was like, it'll be over a half hour overrun. It'll be great. He was even announcing it. No one stuck around for it. It was their world title match. Everyone just didn't give a shit. It's crazy, man. It's Okada and Danielson. You think they give a shit? But I will say, man, aesthetically, wow, it just improved. They tried some cinematic shit, and WBD's talking about the sports and entertainment and all of that. So here you go, guys. It's just it's the same old with these guys. 5-year anniversary. The numbers aren't getting higher. The creative's got to get better, and I hope it does. And I'm happy they got the TV deal, but it doesn't make a lick of difference because Tony Khan would have kept his shit on TV no matter what, because he's a billionaire who's just going to spend billions to make this thing exist. Hughesy speculated, as I'm sure you know, Dose, because you were putting over the episodes with Hughesy to me. He said, listen, I heard even the cons are funding into it themselves. So I just want to show you guys the ratings, get that out of the way. The 5-year anniversary was nothing. It was just dynamite, nothing overly compelling, nothing bloodline level, nothing that's going to make me phone a friend and say, you need to watch this. Now the deal itself, Dose, I want your thoughts, I want your thoughts on the deal itself, man. Like, I know you like to look into the numbers. You like to look into you speculated a lot on this program. So just give me, I guess, your thoughts on the overall deal, just whatever you need to say about it. And I'll pull up maybe a statement here if you want to see it, or maybe you can also break down what some of these things mean. I'm reading that the deal's like up to 150 million a year. So it's like, fucking explain all of that shit. Tell me what you make of the deal and like your analysis of it, please. Thank you, sir.
Wow, there's so much here. So, as everyone knows, for the last year or so, every day I've been reporting that Iran was going to launch ballistic missiles at Israel, and they finally did, 2 days ago. So I was right every one of those days, right? Wrong. That's not how things work. So, everyone has picked the most negative things I've said, or or saying that my source was full of shit, or I didn't have a source. I did have a source, and the source told me negotiations weren't going so well at certain points. They gave me some numbers, and then they stopped giving numbers, and then they went silent for a while. Then they came back, and then Tony Khan changed the negotiating team. Remember, it was Andrew Zarian reported that they brought in an outside law firm to do it, and he said there's nothing unusual with. I mean, these negotiations have gone on 2 years, and it's like the whole IWC is like, that's normal. The complex deals take a long time. The NBA negotiated with like 17 different, networks and got it all done much quicker than this little deal, which is not all that complex. But it's becoming complex. So, and if people listen to me on your show and others, they would know that while I myself, I didn't understand why anybody would want this show necessarily, that when you asked me to give percentages, are they going to re-sign or are they not? I think the last stat I gave you or statistic was 65% they stay with WBD, 35% something else, WAAW, which is, me being cheeky. But I don't think I ever went below 65% them staying with WBD. So, X is a very imperfect place. All right. The deal itself, I don't know what to tell you because Variety, which is a well-regarded source, and another industry magazine or periodical reported that the deal is 3 years with the 1-year option of upwards of $150 million. Then it was quickly corrected by the wrestling media to be a total of $170 million, which is different than upwards of $150 million. And then almost immediately, a couple of people said it's going to be more like $185 million. And so I think the devil's in the details. So let's stick with what we know. Right now, Rampage gone, which is something we said. Ring of Honor not included, which is something
not included. Exactly. Right. Yes.
Pay-per-views on Max, not for free, which is something that I think we said is a possibility that it only really made sense. We already know that the pay-per-views are on other sites, including Triller, and they have the library, right. So you knew it wasn't going to be exclusive. All right. So what do we know? The Dynamite and Collision right now, they're going to stay on their same respective networks, on their same respective time slots. They're also going to be simulcast on Max, which is good. Right. You're WBD keeping their feet in streaming and in regular terrestrial. If your DVR doesn't catch the overrun, like mine never did when I used to watch, and apparently it still never did because that's what Dave and Brian have been fighting about. If you watch it on Max, it's good. No problem. If there's ever a preemption and they put the show on True TV or something else because of an NBA game, they don't move the date, but they just move the network. If you watch it on Max, you don't need to worry about that. So there's these other spillover advantages. Now, what do I think these not? I heard that that the year 4 option, there's a significant increase in that. So just depending on that increase, it could make the average 170 million or maybe even 185 million. What I think is here, I mean, first of all, we learned that WBD now has a stake in AEW. A lot of people thought
right.
that
That's huge. That's huge. And I predicted that too. I was like, that's the only reason they even let it go on this long, because they have a financial interest in taking a little money off the top to recoup theirs. They own some of it,
See,
Sorry.
I never believed it. Doesn't mean I'm right. And I'll tell you
Right.
why I never believed it. One, I mean, why would you invest in a new company? And secondly, when you give them money and you have a stake, you're bidding against yourself either way, and you're opening yourself up to a shareholder derivative class action suit really for no reason. But I did think that they were getting points off of the pay-per-view money, which is why they pushed more and more pay-per-views on Tony Khan. So now they're getting a stake. Maybe they had it before. Maybe it's increased. Maybe it's gone from points on pay-per-views or certain other revenues to they actually have a stake. Does that mean they have more control over creative and spending? I don't know. Bringing in Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. I'm wearing a Bobby Lashley shirt right now. I love Bobby Lashley, but that doesn't seem to indicate spending cuts to me. So, or taking creative control to me. So I don't really know what this equity gets them, but maybe it does at some point. They think they have, besides just being able to cancel, maybe they think they have equity and there's rights that can trigger. Anyway, we could do permutations all night long. I think that what's in this contract, there's probably certain escalators for performance, and there's probably money that are network options that they're going to do max exclusives like documentaries and behind the scenes, and maybe they'll do I don't know. Well,
All access, like that type, those type of shows. Yeah.
MJF loves Alicia. I don't know.
Or more like Alicia loves MJF, and he
there it is.
Poster. Yeah.
Darby's training for Mount Everest, whatever, and maybe crossovers. Where, listen, like I don't know what game shows WBD is, but everybody has game shows. So let's just pretend it was like Family Feud and Jeopardy. I know it's not, but they put the wrestlers on those shows 2 weeks out of the year, and maybe that's part of it as well.
Sure.
Maybe there's like performance bonuses. So the total pack, remember when Master P tried to be a sports agent and he represented Ricky Williams and was all incentive based, and he never, he quickly got out of the sports agency business. I have a feeling that maybe that kind of contract, I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic because some numbers were announced that it will become public, but I don't think it's as puffy as people want to, are trying to play it off to be. But it could be if they perform. I don't know. I admit I'm a pessimist and a cynic, but a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. But listen, Dave Meltzer may be right. He may be right. Maybe we don't understand the TV business, but I have a counter argument to that. Maybe there's a reason why Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount are always on the verge of bankruptcy and always up for sale. Maybe there's a reason that the Disney, which was untouchable until about 3.5 years ago, has had nothing but fumble after fumble. Maybe the people in the TV business are so used to free money and angel investors and venture capitalism and parties and champagne and private jets. Maybe they don't really understand business, except that they understand that they're too big to fail, and somebody always wants to be in show business to bail them out. So I don't know, but that's a lot of ways of saying I really don't know. But I think I told you what was reported. What that means, it could be a lot of things. And if a lot of contracts, don't get renewed, if the spending stops, if Ring of Honor is quietly faded away, I mean, you'll see.
I will say this:
smaller venues.
Yeah. I will say this though. Sorry, I did say that I thought Ring of Honor would get thrown in just like thrown in as like a, oh well, here please, like just, we'll throw
Or at
this
least
in.
at the library on Max even.
Yeah, and like
But
they would like
wonderful.
dissolve Honor Club or whatever. Like, what's up with Honor Club? That's still a thing. They're gonna try. It's dead. Just put that shit on YouTube then if it's not part of this deal.
Yeah.
So I was wrong about that. Actually, no one wants Ring of Honor is ice cold. Dude. No one wants to be involved in that. So, which is unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. But sorry, you go ahead, Dose.
No. I mean, I would just start repeating myself. Yes, the truth is, I don't know. You
Right.
don't know.
Well,
we don't know.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, you're right. What do you think about the pay-per-views though, being sort of like the UFC model, where it's like, you if you're subscribed to ESPN Plus, you get a discounted pay-per-view, or you can just buy it straight up through the ESPN Plus. That's how you get UFC pay-per-views now. What do you think of them taking that approach as opposed to just like you just get the PLEs like WWE's doing?
Well, I knew that was the way it was going to be when I heard about Triller. It can't be exclusive. It couldn't be in there. So it's the only thing that made sense. And Max really, WBD liked the pay-per-view business. So the only reason it would go on Max would be for that, because I know wrestling fans think the library is worth something, but libraries aren't worth jack or squat. Pretty much everything you want to see is on YouTube if you want to find it. So that made sense. It's also sort of a hedge against VPN. So maybe you'll get more subscribers, because my understanding is like the most favorable VPN is like Malaysia, and that's costs like $29.95. Well, I mean, if it's $30 on Max and you're subscribing for Max and you get all the other content that's on Max, and they do have other. That's why I think that part of it is going to be AEW exclusives, and AEW will get paid for that. But Max exclusive, but AEW will get paid for that. It's part of the money, but it's going to drive more people to Max, because this whole thing is to drive people to Max. So the whole goal should be to drive people to Max, while not shooting themselves in the foot on terrestrial TV or regular cable. So I think that we should see those things. And listen, the IWC is going to be like, well, see, they love AEW. They're making more shows. Well, I think a bunch of these shows are already embedded in the contract, or at least they're already foreseen as far as options. $10 million more for a 12-week reality show. $8 million for appearance on Family Feud Wrestler Week, or whatever the case might be.
That could be part of like the up to in that money. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
The upward. Well, it says upwards, but people are saying that it's also up to. Like, break that down for us, Dose. Can WBD, is it guaranteed 150 million per year, or is it like they can put up to 150 million per year? What is that aspect of it? Because there's a lot of different shit floating around. I'm just wondering if you know anything.
A lot of people have called me a liar recently. There's a lot of people who are alleged experts and journalists who are tweeting about people who have been lying to them, and I feel like all of them are talking at me. I've never lied to anybody here or anybody anywhere. I've never typed anything that's lie. If I said I thought something, it's just what I thought. If I said someone told me something, somebody told me that. If I said it was a source, to the best of my knowledge, it was that source, and sometimes I had double sources. That doesn't mean that it ended up being wrong. And when negotiations go so long, it means that the parties want to get to yes. And if they want to get to yes, they're going to get to yes. What does all this mean? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I know. I've speculated a lot in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Maybe it's been longer than that. Probably feels like longer. And that's what I think. I think we'll see. But I think that if there's going to be more shows, whether or not they're on the Turner networks or the WBD networks or Max exclusives, I don't think they're new shows for new money. I think that they're part of this contract, part of the upwards of 150 and maybe as much as 185 million, including if the 4th year option is picked up with a steep increase. Now, I know there's something floating around that they're trying to shop 1 to 2 shows to Fox, or 2 shows. They filed a trademark for Shockwave. Doesn't need to be a TV show. That could be a pay-per-view, or a PLE, whatever they want to call it. But it could be a new show, and maybe they are showing. But as early as today, October 3rd, all of the usual pro AEW sources were saying nothing is signed. They're shopping it. So, and it, I'm not going to say with certainty, but I seriously doubt that it's Fox Broadcast Network. It's probably FS1, FS2, and FS3. And why not? If you ever go through the guide and look at FS1, FS2, FS3, or go to a sports bar when it's not prime sports season, the things that are on FS1, FS2, and FS3 are there's like cornhole, there's like rodeo, there's like kids riding, lambs and races. They have like girls Division III lacrosse on there. So
I was just gonna say Division IIA lacrosse. That was exactly what I was gonna say. I've seen that.
Wrestling's a step up. So yeah, God bless it. Good. And if those networks want to pay, whatever, $10-15 million for 52 weeks a year of 1 to 2 hours of live TV, and that gets them 185,000 when their usual viewership is like 119,000. Great. God bless. See, I hate the all right, that's it. That's all I have to say on it.
Okay, fair enough, man. Because I have to bring you some more here, and it is. Here's somebody saying stockholders dumped them stocks soon as they seen they gave AEW that money. So the past 5 days, I don't know. Like, here's the stock from October 2 for WBD drastically dipped. I don't know if you're a stock guy.
In defense of AEW and WBD, this is too small to make a difference.
I agree. Yeah, I think this is a reach here. Yeah,
much bigger problems that are nowhere close to being solved. This is just another line item of spending. The AEW had no effect on the stock, positive or negative.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a reach, but it's all good. I just still like to bring it to the show. Here's TKO's holding right now, though. Crazy.
Yeah, well.
So Dave Meltzer, and it is time for everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. So I just saw this while we were on the air. Dave Meltzer says that AEW's new TV deal is worth $555 million over 3 years.
The price of this deal, which is $185 million, $555 million over 3 years, $185 million a year. Average $185 million a year. It starts lower. The middle year would probably be about that, and the third year would be up from that, and then the fourth year would be way up. The base, so that would include the buying. I'm presuming it includes the buying of the pay-per-view in that figure. So they want to recoup money. They don't want to just buy it, and all that. So it's the UFC deal, but it was, this was what WBD wanted from it. They didn't want the other deal because it wasn't economically feasible for them. They weren't looking to go into deficit spending for that deal.
Well, they're constantly in deficit spending. Let's be honest, but. He said it's
$9 million. Wait, they're in deficit.
So he said the first year will be like 150. The next one will be like a little bit more than that, and then the next one will be like 185. And then the fourth year would be astronomically more than that, is what Dave Meltzer's essentially claiming. What do you make of that, Dose?
I honestly didn't understand what he said. Like, I heard something different than what you did. I heard him saying,
okay, well, let's play it one more time, because he is a marble mouth motherfucking Meltzer here. So let's go one more time.
The price of this deal, which is $185 million, $555 million over 3 years, $185 million a year.
Okay, sorry.
Average.
So 555 after 3 years, 185 a year. Does that math check out?
Yeah, 185 times 3 is 555.
Okay, so let's continue from there.
Average $185 million a year. It starts lower. The middle year will probably be about that.
It starts lower. The middle of the year, it'll be about that. So
yeah,
he's
so
just
I think it's
bibbling now.
Yeah, so he's saying year one might be 170, year two would be 195, and year three might be 215, and then the fourth year option, jumps up to 250.
Is that what he's saying, or is he saying at the start of the year?
I'm making up the numbers. Just the 3 years would average 185 a year. I don't really understand what he's saying with the pay-per-view. I'm assuming what he's saying. I'm assuming what he's saying is that all of the money bought for the pay-per-view goes to Warner Brothers Discovery. They're recouping the money from it. There's no split with AEW. The AEW has been prepaid for the pay-per-views, just like Peacock has prepaid for WWE's, but then he says the UFC model, and I don't know enough about UFC to tell you what that means.
What it means is what I explained before. So how UFC works is you subscribe to ESPN Plus, and then you get a discounted rate on the UFC pay-per-views, or you can just fucking go and buy the pay-per-view directly through ESPN Plus, but it'll cost you like the normal cost of a pay-per-view.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand that. But if you, let's say you have ESPN Plus and you pay $25 for the pay-per-view, does all of that money go to ESPN Plus, or does 12 go to ESPN Plus and 12 goes to UFC? That's the part.
That's what I don't know, actually. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I actually don't know that aspect. But Dose, if you were to look it up, and you're smarter than I'm sure you know what keywords to punch into Google there. I'm sure you'd figure out the answer. And then if he's saying it's the UFC deal, then it's the same as that. So that'll be your answer, because I'm sure UFC, it's public with them, I'm sure.
That's true. But my little merry group, they're a bunch of money people. They're all stockholders. They would know. So I'm not going to look it up. I don't know, but because I don't know that he's right, but I don't know that he's wrong. That sounds like a lot of money for a show that does 680 and another show that does, frankly, when it's not a special show, can do as low as 280. But let's just give it an average of 350 for Collision. So Collision is probably when it does 400. That's good, and Dynamite now is, probably like a 650-ish proposition, 680. Let's put it 700 and 400. That sounds like a lot of money for two shows that do those kinds of numbers. But like I said earlier, maybe he's right. Maybe I don't understand the TV business, or maybe TV people don't understand business. They just know that there's going to be bagels in the office, and and they're going to live to see it. And if they get fired, they get golden parachutes. I have no idea.
So let's continue to listen to what this mush brain guy has to say.
Up from that, and then the fourth year would be way up. The base, so that would include the buying. I'm presuming it includes the buying of the pay-per-view in that figure. So they want to recoup.
So he's assuming it's the buying of the pay-per-view in that figure.
So he doesn't know
money. They don't want to just buy it, and all that. So it's the UFC deal, but it was this was what WBD wanted from it. They didn't want the other deal.
They didn't want the other deal.
If he's assuming that, then what that tells me is that the base money to AEW, well, it could be either, is less, and that the pay-per-view money either does go partially back to AEW, and that's where you can get that big $35 million a year fluctuation. I mean, that makes some sense.
Hey guys, I called it. I've been saying it's just WBD just wants a little off the top. As long as they just get a little off the top of everything, they'll stay bought in. They'll let AEW do their shows. They'll let them shop shit around. Oh, you get a deal with FS1? Sweet. We just want a little off the top, baby. We just want a little off the top. That's what I've been saying, man. That's all.
That's what equity is.
Got the fingers in the pie, just a little bit,
They're like, cool, you guys are making money here. We just want a little bit of it. So whatever you guys, we're cool. You want to spend all your billions, Tony? Sweet. We just want a little off the top, daddy, and you can stay doing it here. Because they're fucking losing money left, right, and center. Yeah. Why else would it make sense for them to do this? Try and sell ads and take a little bit off the top, and they got their pay-per-view, like Meltzer saying. So bickety bam,
makes sense
because it wasn't economically feasible for them. They weren't looking to going into deficit spending for.
So he admits they weren't looking to go into deficit spending for AEW, and it's like, dude, no shit. They're constantly deficit spending right now at WBD. So I don't even really know what's their limit. They clearly have an amount they're still willing to go hundreds of millions in the hole with, or whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know how that all works.
I mean, but what he's acknowledging there, if he's right, and that's an if, is that their profit, their existing profit, or I guess wasn't so high. So that, I mean, you'd have to reverse engineer it to figure out what the profit would be after, what the profit must be now to make this new deal make sense profit wise. I think a lot of it has to do with projection with max subscriptions and pay-per-view revenue. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But listen, there's a lot I don't know, and I don't want to. I don't want to put myself out there, and as an expert on this part of it. I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, that was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. Although he could be.
Well, I don't know what he said.
He could be right in some of it. Who knows if it's dumb or not? But we're just going to call it dumb.
But he says they and them all the time. You don't know who he's talking about with his pronouns.
I know. Exactly.
Pronouns, pal.
And so we talked about it before. NXT did a whopping 895. Here's a little awful video for 680,000 viewers. We had to make fun of it. So let's just watch this.
He's been speaking in riddles for a long time.
You're going to fucking Don Stevens me, bro. Come on. Who could make them scramble like this? Yuta. This was the most bullshit ending ever to a Dynamite.
Everybody thought it was going to be Bobby Lashley, and it was Wheeler fucking Yuta.
I know. That's what I thought too, dude.
Tony is
I thought it was going to be Lashley. And then, guys, always remember. So Julian Weeks, here's the Dynamite viewership 0.20 in the whatever. Awful points out here too in the deal. We know the follow-up now. So he remember this, Jim. Sorry, I promised Rampage. So here's Tony Khan saying, before the premiere of AEW Rampage, Tony Khan made the following promise. I promise Rampage isn't going to be a secondary show. Rampage is going to be the partner of Dynamite, the equivalent to Dynamite, our SmackDown. He didn't say the last part. I'm adding that, but boom, there you go, guys.
That's what he wanted you to think.
Rampage is no more.
Title.
Just another empty promise. I mean, he wasn't going to add on injury time. He was going to give the boys health insurance. He was going to do all these things, and he hasn't. He's the king of. Everybody says Cody's a politician, but I feel like Tony Khan's a better one since he never keeps his promises.
And never forget, guys, that AEW. They have the Demo God gimmick. They have Jericho going, we're going to beat Raw in the ratings. And when they were kicking NXT's ass, they even ran ads. AEW Dynamite crushes NXT, comic book. AEW Dynamite trounces NXT by Forbes, right? Shout out Alfred Konua. But the whole thing is this, man. AEW loves to poke the bear. The sickos love to fucking attack and everything, but they can't take it themselves. And ultimately, I preface this whole segment with what I'm going to end it with. This TV deal, the streaming wars are fantastic. I love the idea of that because then how many viewers are watching on TV? That narrative's going to. But until then.
Well, Netflix has a 20-year head start.
It's the streaming.
Let me start with the excuses.
Exactly. And here's the thing. The big boys are, well, exactly. That's what's going to happen, right? But it's going to take away, it's going to be more of people just going like, oh, it's on streaming, man. Who gives a shit about It's just about the wrestling. It's going to shift the conversation to that one thing more because we're not going to be able to compare the ratings in quarter hours.
The AEW pay-per-views, I don't know about the rest of the shows, are not on Max International. They're only on Max US. I don't know if that includes Canada or not.
Yeah. Probably not. So
it's not like Netflix.
But yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All I'm saying is that Tony Khan is going head-to-head. AEW is going head-to-head this upcoming week. You don't want to miss it, guys. PWT, and they love to dish it out. They love to run ads when they beat NXT, but they can't take it when NXT outdraws. We're seeing the meltdowns already. The 895. There's all these excuses. I put out a tweet saying, "Oh, I should have included this in the Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week. I fucked up and I didn't." But I said a tale of two Meltzers, and so you see here he has his excuses. NXT did 895 for a 0.26 last night. Premiere usually is much higher than the show settles in at. Week 3 to 4 is when you really get a better feel for it. Right? So he's already got excuses. Meanwhile, wasn't NXT up against games and shit like that too? Was
vice
presidential
debate,
vice presidential
war breaking out, vice presidential. And
look at what he says. Yeah, and then look at what he says about AEW. AEW did 680K, going 30 plus minutes long hurt, plus 2 baseball playoff games and larger than usual news ratings. So he's got the excuse. It's a tale of two Meltzers. He can't fucking help himself. I'm once again gonna play one more flute for this idiot. So, guys, just always remember what's happening here, okay? And this isn't some cope. I want AEW to last forever, but just don't let these fucking weirdos try and tell you anything that isn't true. And that's what we're here to dissect and break down, I guess. And we're just giving opinions on the shit, but ultimately it's the creative. The creative in NXT is so good. It's so fucking good. They have wrestlers and characters you're invested in. You want to see. All three of us showed up here and went, God damn, it's the best show in wrestling right now.
Exactly.
And that's we didn't premeditate that. I didn't know that was gonna happen. AEW is we're all going, damn, dude. We're all sitting here like, nah, dude, the price is wrong, Tony. Like, and this TV deal is great. I'm so happy for them, dude, because I get to keep laughing at this parody of fucking wrestling. And I won't lie, the last Dynamite was good. I could see them making changes, and they're going the sports entertainment route. In the statement for this from WBD, they're like, we want to introduce AEW's audience to our other sports and entertainment. So it's funny because they're all like, sports entertainment, blah. Meanwhile, though, that's exactly what the initiative is for WBD and Tony Khan. And I've told everyone, all you fucking sickos, your idea for what AEW is or should be doesn't align with the people running it, I assure you. And their initiative shouldn't be introducing the sickos to like whatever fucking sports entertainment show they have. It should be catering to them, but then appealing to the masses. I will say, though, if they keep running smaller buildings, lighting them up and doing more cinematic shit and focusing on the sports and entertainment and then really giving a lot of wrestling on the pay-per-views, it'll work out. Hopefully they listen to your boy, Phil. I'm Phil of the future, man. I predicted the whole deal almost, Tony, so I didn't even have to be in the room with your crazy ass. So listen to me. I'm telling you what to do. Focus on the smaller buildings, sports entertainment on the TV. Give us lots of wrestling on the pay-per-views. Everybody will love you again. And stop coping. Dave Meltzer, you fucking suck. And yeah, that was PWT Podcast. So Evil Dose, I want to thank you so much here for putting it down, man. Letting us know what's up with the TV deal. Alt Jake, I want to thank you too for being here. And you guys are both welcome to join me. Let's have a whole throwdown shindig party for the Bad Blood.
Man. This is so much fun.
Yeah, on Saturday, you guys come back. Let's watch Bad Blood if you're able to. Even if you need to pop in and out.
My opinion to talk with you guys.
Yes, absolutely. You RoboCopped on us, but why don't Dose or Alt Jake? I'll do you first because you're quick and easy. You can find him pretty much here on Pro Wrestle Times a lot of the time, and you can find him at alt_Jake2 on X and his GoFundMe for his kitty. Evil Dose, let the good folks know what you got going on. Garden of Doom, everything. When are you linking up with PJ Black next? What do you guys got going on in your crazy world over there?
All right. Well, first of all, I really want to thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. It's always nice to be invited. I have had a week, and not because of what anyone out there thinks, absolutely nothing wrestling related. But I don't want to get bored. But I'm not going to talk about it. So, you can follow me on X if you want to find my my Evil Dose character. Then I think it's at Dose Evil. If you want to just follow me in both places, at Icarus Fell MD is my more normal account, but I spend more time on Dose Evil because wrestling is more fun to babble about. Anyway, I have 3 podcasts, but they're all on the same feed. They're all on the Garden of Doom feed. So Garden of Doom is eclectic, esoteric, mythology, comparative mythology, religion, cryptids, UFOlogy, everything that goes bump in the night. We deep dive into some shows, horror movies, horror content creators, just witches, tarot, astrology, you name it. Anything where my curious mind takes us. Tech Doom, Garden Views, similar variety, but it tends to be a little bit more grounded. It's usually legal. A lot of what's going to be the law of space. Had a lot of legal professors and lawyers from around the world on that. Some law professors. Most recent show was with a law professor out of Durham, UK, not North Carolina. Talked about the laws of armed conflict in space. And he hooked me up with a professor who's actually wrote a book, a treatise on actual first contact protocols and self-defense and things like that with, non-human extraterrestrials. So he's going to come on the show. So cool stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
And PJ Black, if any of you don't know who he is, he's a professional wrestler. He's actually suffered his first injury in like 26 years in the business. You might know him as Justin Gabriel from the Nexus and the Core in WWE about 10 years ago. Anyway, he's my co-host on GOD Presents Book of Black. And Book of Black is basically, we talk about Garden of the Doom, things with people in and around wrestling. So we've had Tyrus on, we've had Damian Sandow, who goes by Austin Idol now, Jimmy Jacobs. So everyone thinks I hate everything about AEW. We had one of the writers and producers of Jimmy Jacobs, on there. George Iceman, who's Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance's concierge. We've had some indie wrestlers on. And we have booked coming up. I hope they both come through, but we have booked Katrina from Lucha Underground.
Wow.
And Terry Runnels. So
Oh wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now listen, we've had other people booked that they've fallen through.
That's how it goes in the biz. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys are listening, Sheamus and Rusev, you said no. And I'm really upset about that. I don't know why. I mean, I get with Sheamus because, might be a WWE thing, but Rusev, what the hell are you go? What are you doing?
Maybe you go into those deep territories, fella. He doesn't want to go. Yeah, I got a cool one coming for you guys too. It's in the books here, coming soon, but we're setting up a day. But yeah, Dose.
Oh yeah, so you can find just Garden of Doom anywhere podcasts are found, or on the Wrestling Soup Network. Also for Wrestling Soup, I do legal shorts. They've been called Black Letter Body Slam, but I might be changing the name to Body Slam Briefs because of a trademark issue with my old law firm. So, anyway, the name of the show doesn't matter, but you can find that all in the Wrestling Soup.
Okay, guys, you know where to find me at Pro Wrestle Times. Wednesday nights and Saturday nights, I go live. You already know, Saturday night live show for Bad Blood. Make sure you're there. And we will see you all in the Garden of Doom, and we will see you all in the Upside Down.